Really horrible for your teeth.
What do you have, a 5-hour energy?
No, these. Have you ever seen these before? They're like tiny little soda bottles.
Oh, no.
And they're like off-brand flavors, but it has like tiny little like fizzy pebblets in them that you just like put in your mouth and you just like let them dissolve on your tongue. It's like gas station candy, and it's like they were good when they were a kid, but they probably wreck your teeth.
Well, that's the good part about them, right? Pixie sticks. I remember pixie sticks. That's just straight sugar,
yeah,
straight
man.
colored sugar. Let's go.
I've snorted
hell
them
yeah.
before.
Dry out your tongue. Just try to swallow it. It's a big old glob.
Just chalky.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on YouTube take Fun Dip out and like take the powder and crush up the stick that you have too and snort it. And me, a 8-10-year-old boy, said, "I'm gonna do that," and I did it, and it hurt, and my nose was blue for a couple of days.
What?
What?
Mom's like, Bodie, what have you been doing?
I'm doing a couple lines, Ma. Don't worry about it.
Don't come in here.
Yeah, like on a glass table, I'm taking like a fake business card. I like cut him.
Terrible.
Takes a little bit, rubs it up into his gums.
Yeah, I've had an interesting life, I would say.
Well, that's pure blue raspberry right there. That's that good stuff.
Ooh, the sugar.
We're live, of course.
Oh, hello,
Oh,
everybody.
The Heroes era.
We
Welcome,
were talking
friends.
about candy.
Yeah,
Fun Dip.
we were. That's not a lie.
No, we genuinely were.
I don't know
Just
how much
getting
you've heard,
some of
audience.
the production things dialed in too. We have some new overlays, so bear with us on that. But should be greatly improved over the next session or two. Have a few new scenes to kind of liven things up. But of course, this is the Heroes era, and we are playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons. And tonight we are telling a story, but we do not yet know how it will go. The players, the dungeon master, the dice, all of these will have a hand in how the game... Please don't clear your throat over my intro.
I said the dice. I was doing the dice.
Okay.
He was adding effect.
I was doing an echo.
I'm gonna have to give you a warning.
Oh.
And that just ends the intro. Just like that.
Ruined it.
And so, of course, I want to thank my players for joining me as always. And this week we have Bodie as Reynold.
Hi, incompetent cleric figuring it out as he goes.
And Joel as Mordecai.
I'm just here for the fireballs.
And Chris as P-Crawl.
Playing as P-Crawl after he died last week and was magically resurrected. I think he officially qualifies as a Marvel superhero with that now. Because they all die. And they're like, they're dead, they're gone forever, and then they come back. It was a bad joke. Never mind. We can
Don't
just
worry. No, we're
we
leaving
can cut
it
that
in.
out in post, right?
The more we talk about it, the funnier it gets, so don't worry.
And so, like Chris was saying...
Because like they all die.
See? It got funnier.
We're off to a great start, by the way.
It's beautiful. This is a classic, another classic. So, of course, thanks everybody also for joining us for the adventure. If you're live in Twitch, say what's up. If you're watching on YouTube, what happens on YouTube? You
comment, subscribe, hit that
comment,
bell.
Actually, if you're watching on YouTube, you can also say what's up. It's just we're not playing right now.
Hear you.
You know,
we are, but in the past.
If you watch it on YouTube and you enjoy it, then go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or any of the other social medias and say what's up there.
Very nice, Chris.
There it is.
Now, last session, we came face to face with Marlin, and if you'll indulge me, I just have a brief recap here. Yep. And this is a beholder who has exquisite fashion sense, and she used a magical chandelier that displayed magical scenes and imagery, much like a holographic image. And she did this to thwart the party. P-Crawl infiltrated the chandelier, finding it to be a demiplane. And he found a small group of gnomes using a spinning wheel, weaving threads of fabric that would become the various magic scenes depicted by the chandelier, like some eldritch machine. And Marlin then appeared above Peakrawl, a looming eye with tentacles peering through the entrance to the chamber, and her magic rays slayed Peakrawl, as Chris mentioned. From outside the chandelier, Mordecai assailed the display with a fireball, and the magical threads of fabric erupted, and one facet of the chandelier was completely destroyed, burning. And then Bezlok cut the chain that suspended the eldritch machine, and it fell and was smashed. Marlin was there then, hanging in the air, as beholders do, and her robe was torn from her shoulders, revealing her true nature, whereas before she was disguised as some cyclops. And the heroes were weakened, and one of them slain, but they displayed great resilience and possessed incalculable reserves of powerful magic. I used incalculable again, so just look out for that. It's too much. Once every couple sessions. The magic of the cleric had already dissolved all of Marlin's resistances, and she had become vulnerable. So Marlin fled, flying up through a hole in the ceiling that was created by the dropping of the chandelier. Scooping up the robe, the party fled Billman Manor, quite terrified of what they had encountered here. After clearing the premises, they found the robe to contain a pocket dimension within a pocket of the robe, and within this were gnomes feeding thread into a spinning wheel, much like in the chandelier, seeming to fuel the magic of the robe. One of these gnomes was Jokini, the old friend of Bezlok, and a new friend of the party who had traveled to Silver Hills to learn more about Marlin. And Marlin, who called herself the Duchess. And so when Bezlok and Jokini are reunited, she tells Bezlok what she has learned. And this is where we left off last session. And it turns out many of her kindred who were captured by Marlin were sent to a powerful source. And this is an eldritch machine requiring repair before it can be activated. These are tasks that can only be completed by small and nimble hands proficient in such work. And it is a source related to a prophecy, an ancient prophecy. When the world awakens, a weapon awaits him, one that pierces land and sky, a legendary sword for a son of Kord. Bezlok has now found a way to redeem himself in the eyes of his people, if only he can aid Jokini in rescuing them from their servitude. So at this point in the story, Bezlok will give the remaining party members any pertinent items related to quests, anything that was kind of a party item that you would like from him. And then Bezlok is going to embark on his own story of redemption. He and Jokini will be traveling to Omnis to gain more information regarding their people. And so this is your opportunity to take quest items or otherwise if you choose. Anything come to mind here?
Bag of
all
holding
of
that
his
he
gold.
had.
All the gold,
We hold him up, we mug him real quick.
We
for all
just
his
turn him
money.
upside down and shake him by his little gnome legs.
We
and
give him
keep
some
whatever
money. So he's gonna need some cash. We leave him with some cash to get by, but we do take a
I trust the
good
gold
amount.
had been divvied up 4 ways when it was recovered.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Recommended that be done. Bezlok will
Yeah.
retain his share of the gold.
Aw,
That's fair.
why won't
No,
you let
that's
us
fair.
mug you? Oh well.
I knew you guys were
I can't think
joking
of-
at first, but it turned into you guys weren't joking.
Yeah, we got a little specific about it. I know.
That's fine.
So I'm sorry, bag of holding, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he had anything. I don't think he specifically was carrying anything that was especially like.
I feel like he had. I think I was going to give him a revivified diamond, and then he told me to keep. Yeah, he told me to keep mine. So he doesn't have any spell components that I've given to him that I would take back. But I think
And
I
then
got
there
everything.
comes the question of the items that he's magically enhanced for the lot of you. And you can keep those as gifts from him for the time being, but he says that he will be refashioning these soon, so they may go away at any time.
All right. Hope it doesn't happen in the middle of a fight when we need it.
Yeah.
And now Marlin has been defrocked. The false hope for Fundar Stadur is now the town with no hope. The people there become frustrated when you try to explain what has happened. Again, there were the many people that had been tricked by this beholder.
Right.
There's not much left for you to do here in town for the time being, having gained the key information regarding Bezlok's past. It does feel as though the magic of the beholder has left this land, at least for the time being. Perhaps being uncovered has encouraged her to move on.
Yeah, they don't like attention, so.
What I would like to do is I would like to grab the two. I'll grab Pakral and Mordecai, and Renal will say to him like, "All right, so I know we all got pretty messed up, and I don't trust, or I don't want to bet my life on us getting of that beholder leaving for good. I'm still a little put off by that, so I'm gonna cast a spell. And it's gonna make sure that we can't get killed in the middle of the night, so we'll be good to go for sure tomorrow morning, and everything will be fine. It's gonna be
nice.
It'll be a little crazy, granted, but it's gonna be a little grandiose, but it's gonna work. I think we should invite some of the townspeople in and then hold a service or try to give them... They don't have any hope. They had a beholder come in, pose as someone of great value and status and standing and say, hey, I'm the bringer of the light. And that was not true. I'm the bringer of the light, apparently. And so I would like to hold a service of some kind and, at least give the people a place to stay, like everybody, if they choose to. And maybe that will give them some hope back. I mean, I'm not really one to convert just random people off the street and make them go to something and believe in something they don't want to, but I'll give them the option from somebody who actually has the authority behind the name Lightbringer. It's going to take me a while to cast, though, so I don't know if you would want to go and hand out flyers or something. It'll be up for a while, so you don't have to do this initially. But I'm going to do this for sure, at least for the three of us, all right?
Yeah, right.
And I'm going to go cast a 7th level spell, Temple of the Gods. This is a incredible spell that takes a 7-level spell slot. It takes an hour to cast, which is why I said it'll take a bit. And throughout the hour, you see as if you're watching a slow time lapse of a temple being built, like brick by brick, cobblestone by cobblestone, and lumbar supports being put into place and lighting fixtures being installed. But you see the outer structural walls of a temple begin to rise up and kind of 3D print themselves into the world until you get about... Is there a size restriction on this? It must fit in an so it's about 120 feet of box that it sits in. It's a grandiose it's a big temple, and I'm designating myself, Mordecai, and Pakral as the 3 people that can open the door to this temple. And if anyone wants to come into the temple, we must open it for them. I am not designating anybody. I'm not going to take any of those creatures, which is celestial and elemental, fey, fiend, or undead, off of that list. So if any of them do try to enter, they would have to roll a charisma save, and we can get to that if that happens. But essentially, I build a temple that is the inside is a extraplanar place that is hidden from divination magic, so we can't be spied on when we sleep. The idea is that creatures cannot get in there without our say-so. And it also has extra healing properties as well whenever we regain hit points using a spell. The temple extends into the ethereal plane and blocks ethereal travel into the interior.
Amazing.
Nothing can...
That's wild.
Yeah. It's the cleric version of the Magnificent Mansion that bards get. It's like their version. It's basically that, but holier and more like faith.
It's a temple.
Based.
Yeah.
It's a temple. Yeah. So
Randall, where do you create this temple?
I definitely get away from the mansion. I go to the Red Saber-Tooth Inn, and I ask the barkeep there. I always forget her name, but the one that kind of is a stand-in for a person of leadership.
Okay.
Which is twice now, since they've lost a person in leadership twice now. One being false, and the other one being person from long before. And I ask him, what's a good space to put this that will fit, that will be in a good area that a good amount of people can reach.
There's plenty of room in the open air market. In the greater town area of Shynduras, of course, there was an open air market when the sun shone.
Okay.
Hey, Reynold.
Yeah.
You might want do like they got like a little hill, a little hilltop or something right near the area. You know, you're doing like the sun should be higher.
Oh no,
you know.
that's good.
You know,
no,
you build like
good.
a sun god temple. You know, put it up on a hill. Or
No, you got it.
Something like that. You know.
Yeah, you got
raise
it.
up on it.
Fireballs.
Perhaps at Silver Hills, then. Many of the people at Billman Manor were from Silver Hills, after all.
So I go find a nice hill next in the Silver Hills. I start constructing a temple out of the ether with holy magic, and it's getting built over the course of an hour. And now I'm going to go get my dinner because it is ready.
Very good. So Reynold will create this temple atop
You
Silver
crawl
Hills.
hang out with him while he's doing that, just to keep an eye on him and keep an eye out for him for that hour.
I'm actually going to send out Lucky and Bucky to try to collect as many people as they can.
And Lucky is an imp,
That is correct.
and Bucky is a zombie or
That
skeleton.
is also correct. Yes.
Okay.
Best missionaries I can think of.
You can't say they don't get attention around here.
I'm saying an imp and a skeleton knock on my door. I might want to hear what they have to say.
Especially when they're talking about a temple being made. I mean, come on.
I mean,
Mordecai, will you make, on behalf of Bucky or Lucky, whoever so chooses, a charisma check?
I would love to do that. I feel like a skeleton is very persuasive. Is it straight charisma?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and use. Well, that's on their behalf, so that's it.
I feel like they're kind of going off on their own side quest here to rally the people of Shynduras, bring them back to the temple. And of course, as Reynold casts this spell, people do begin to gather and come to the hillside. The hills are mostly covered with snow. There's a large plateau upon the top of them where there's a clearing in the forest.
I was gonna say a skeleton and an imp walk into a bar. That sounds like the start to a terrible joke.
And so over the course of this hour, you can peek crawl Mordecai. You're watching Reynold, making sure that everything goes as planned. You're able to welcome the people from Silver Hills. And what goes on in this temple after you've created it, Reynold?
So, after the temple is fully built, it's a classic looking temple. It kind of I basically stole a lot of the elements from it from the Temple of the Light that we were at very recently, and kind of just stole the design of that and just kind of put it in its place, but added a giant golden sun weather vane at the top, at the highest spire of the temple, and if there was sunlight, it would like glow and reflect off of it. And as I open the door, it kind of is like a black. It just opens into a blackness, and then when you walk forward, you enter into the extraplanar part of it, which is a different inside. It has a main room that has pews set up, and then a little raised stand at the end that will have a podium, of which a scripture of the holy book that Reynold has been writing in the margins of, for holy spells that he tries to memorize and write down. It's not his version with the cliff notes that he's written, but it's the one that he originally had. Open up in the podium, just to a random page. It's not a particular one. And then there are 2 side rooms. There is a side room to the left, which has a lounging area with a big dining table that has the chairs set up, much like the main room in the Temple of the Light that we were at recently, but off into another side with a door, like one entryway into it. And it has silverware set out. It has a nice wooden table, and then the walls are of a white cobblestone of almost like marble, and then it's gilded in with gilded elements and flowery flourishes as well, like golden vines going around from the corners and pillars that are holding up support beams. It has a nice lofty area at top where there is seemingly sunlight shining through the windows, which is, so it has like that natural sunlight type of feel to it, where it's morning or evening, but it's never nighttime there. So it has a nice radiant glow to it. And then the other room on the other side of the temple is residential quarters where there's like a massive bunk beds and, places to sleep. Each one has a nightstand for you to put your stuff into, and a foot locker at the end to store stuff in. And at the top and from the main room next to the podium, there are 2 spiral staircases that go up into the top area, which is where us 3 have our rooms set up. If you want, I can take notes and then change the rooms accordingly to how you would want them to be. So you can have a certain style, or you can have a certain look or appeal or vibe you're going for. Reynold's room is very, it's Spartan-esque, has a very nice bed, a very nice chair, but otherwise everything is kind of as if it's a normal tavern room. He just took that blueprint for the other 2 rooms. He doesn't know what the other 2s would like at that point. And importantly, there's a balcony from the top floor that you're sitting at that goes, imagine there's a pew at the front, and then there's a balcony that goes on the second floor that goes from the sides and joins at the back. So people can stand at the balcony and look over down into the main area where a sermon may be happening at any given time. And there's places to store stuff, but as the spell says, it disappears in 24 hours, so there's no permanent storage in this area. So when the spell ends, everything that people have put in there will just kind of shoot out through the door and just be on the ground wherever I cast a spell at. But it's basically a place designed in mind for people to have a place to practice faith if they want to, wherever we are, and to take refugees if need be. And this is the blueprint I'm going for, that I'm going to keep static unless I change it in the future, like certain rooms and such. I can interchange it whenever.
And as you're showing P. Crawl and Mordecai their rooms, maybe getting their input, you feel a large, firm hand grasps your shoulder, Reynold. How
are you in here?
Excuse me?
We gotta let them in. We can't. It's only us 3 can let people in.
I thought that people had started to come into the temple. Am I wrong to think that?
If these other 2 people open the door for them, sure.
Were we not supposed to let them in yet? Sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, just in the future.
Okay.
Look, it's a security thing. I trust your judgment, of course, but it's more to keep like vampires or like monsters out. Normal people are good.
As the temple was created, the people had come to, see this awesomeness. And, as you had finished, I imagine P. Crawl and Mordecai welcoming people into the temple. And so it has filled somewhat, and people are in, awe of this spectacle, especially the light coming from the top. They seem to take a lot of comfort in that. But as you are showing Mordecai and P. Crawl what may be their residences, you do feel his hand upon your shoulder. And after a quick conversation, you turn around and you see the chuckling face of a friend, Bartok. Right,
Bartok! Whoa,
Mordecai.
hey!
It's good to see the two of you.
Been a while. Hey, man. What's been going on in your world?
I heard
Anything?
that you were back at Green Acres.
Yeah, we kind of fought a lot of vampires and kind of run by the Council of Order. So and then we came here through like teleportation magic. So it's been a bit. Yeah, it's been
who is your new friend?
Oh yeah, hello. I'm Pete Kroll. Nice to meet you.
And Bartok is an orc. Actually would like to recap who Bartok is because it has been many episodes since we saw Bartok. So please bear with me as I just refresh our memory here of the travails of Bartok. Bartok is chief of the Flegvula Gongumen, a migratory orc tribe whose territory is the northwest coast of Onthold, including the region surrounding Fundar Stadur. The heroes first met Bartok on their initial journey to Fundar Stadur. He was looking for Bella, his mammoth who had been startled and lost in the storm. But it was the heroes who would find Bella just outside of town, and they would meet Surgug. Surgug insisted that he would deliver Bella to Bartok. Surgug, another orc, Bartok's brethren. And Surgug took custody of the mammoth. Bartok and Surgug were in fact champions of Steinsliden together, a sport quite similar to curling. They were brothers, as I said, or it seemed they were brothers until Surgug's first betrayal. And after thanking the heroes for returning Bela, Bartok invited them to watch a championship match of Steinsliden. Bartok and Surgug would defend against the two best locals who had been climbing the ranks, but Surgug did not show up for the match. When one of the heroes stepped in as a replacement, another competitor arrived, but not to play Steinsliden. It was a hungry white dragon, and it would have surely eaten Bartok if the heroes had not been there. Then came Surgug's second betrayal. After failing to slay Bartok by way of dragon, Surgug tricked and entranced his people. You see, Surgug had acquired supernatural powers through a demonic ritual beneath Green Acres, and he turned their people against Bartok. Surgug convinced the elders of the Flegvula Gongumen to banish Bartok from the Shrine of Anhur, their people's most powerful source, the place that their people retreat to for shelter in the deep winter. Bartok came to the heroes, and he insisted that when they had slain the dragon together, the heroes had become Flegvula Gongumen as well, his people, his brothers. That would have been Reynold, Jules, not yet Mordecai. Although Mordecai is considered a friend. And so Bartok asked the heroes to help him infiltrate the Shrine of Anhur so he could be redeemed. And they did. They found that Surgug had warped the magical source to hypnotize and control their tribe. Then they found Surgug, but the magic of the source had overcome him. Black tentacles rose from the depths and wore Surgug's corpse like a puppet. Bartok was struck down. The heroes defeated the chaos and rescued Bartok. They credited Bartok with defeating the evil that had corrupted Surgug, and Bartok became chief for his glory. That is all I have on Bartok. If anybody has anything to add that I might have overlooked.
So Reynold, after Prakral introduced him, like, yeah, Prakral, this is my brother.
Oh yeah. All right.
We're related.
Sure.
Yep.
I must admit, Reynold, I came seeking assistance.
Yeah. I'm pretty weary, but let's hear it. What do we got? Reynold pulls out his notepad of like problems and takes out a quill and begins to write. All right. Let's start talking.
Well,
what we got here?
Nothing that should require your immediate attention, but I know that you are an ally of the dragons and the dragon people.
Yeah. Kind of like the last one, I think. I'm not too sure on that. It's pretty dire.
You know, as I told you, the dragon armies drove our people back into the Gelida Coles, our sacred hills.
Yeah.
And so our mammoths have nowhere to migrate, and it is time for us to leave soon. We wish to reestablish the migratory routes of our mammoths.
Okay, are you need my assistance in securing a route or
Well,
scouting
there
one
are
out?
key locations along the route that the dragon armies have secured and taken for themselves. We're gathering intelligence and formulating a plan to cut them off. We'll start with one, and then we'll take them out one after another.
Is it you got? I'm sorry. I know I'm not. I'm the new guy here. You don't know me, but I'm just curious. Is there any? It's got to be. You got to take them out. There's not a way that you can't sort of just use the space. Like you're just passing through, right? You're just migrating on through. Yeah.
We would be happy to pass through, but the dragon armies have already showed great violence against our people, and they have slain many of the mammoths already.
Oof. Oh, yeah, it's terrible. But, like you said, Reynald's got a bit of a connection there. So maybe, like if they're willing to listen to that.
Well, our numbers are limited. That would be greatly preferred if it did not come to violence.
Oh, God. You want me to do a diplomatic mission?
Well,
this is going to turn out well.
If it must be that way.
No. You just all you got to do, Reynald, is just get them to understand that they just got to listen, and that let them know that orc fellas just won't pass through, just want to walk the elephants, the mammoths, on through and move on to the next place, and that seems reasonable. Yeah.
I would like to point out that you said all you got to do is make them listen. That's a really broad objective.
Yeah, that's all you got. All you got to do is just convince
just
them
make
to
them
do
listen.
opposite of what they've been doing this whole entire time.
Well,
Maybe
there are
it's-
three
it's
key
one
positions along the coast where they've been fortifying and building permanent structures. I would like to learn more about their plans for these locations before we strike. If that gives us time for diplomacy, even better. I just do not want to accidentally make our move just as an army is arriving, or worse, a dragon.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking that, because it sounds like you and Reynald, well, your brothers, right? And then Reynald's, with buddies with the dragon folk too, yeah. So, if y'all get into a fight, that's gonna put Reynald in a tough spot, and he doesn't need all that stress. He's already God and everything, so he's figuring stuff out.
Wait, what?
Or like something like that. I don't know how all that works, but
Neither do I. I got a question. It actually might not be that bad for me if we do fight them. Depending, are they chromatic or metallic dragon folk?
These are the forces of Queen Locriana, the Black Dragon.
All right, so they're bad.
Oh, all right, yeah. Then we just gotta kill them then.
So then we just kill them. Yeah, we don't need to do diplomacy.
Yeah, nah. Sorry, I thought you'd talk about different.
Nope.
noble,
It's a good thought.
Honor bound type of. Oh yeah, nah.
No,
we
that's
just
the
gotta
horde
kill
people.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
My
a different
mistake.
breed.
My mistake. See, that's what I'd get for talking in on things I don't know about.
No, Bacraw, don't put you're fine. Don't worry about it. You're good.
Reynald, what happened to Jules? I quite liked him.
Oh, well, he died a vicious death. He was in a pit of lava. We were fighting a red dragon, and his skeleton melted.
He's
Now
doing
it's
all right then.
Yeah, he's doing fine. He left on a personal journey. Yeah, he's good. He's still alive.
This one you've hired in his place as your advisor. He gestures to P-Crawl.
I woke up, captured, underneath Green Hills, or Green Acres, and he was there. And then it just kind of happened from there. I didn't hire. Are you getting paid? Did I hire you? Pakral?
I mean, I got my cut for the work I did, but like that seems fair. Yeah.
That's not really hire. It's just working together, I suppose.
What shared contract together?
He's like your
sort of
brother.
deal. Nah, yours, brother. I'm just some bloke.
You understand perfectly.
Yeah. His stuff is all about like killing devils and demons and stuff. Mordecai's all about becoming the strongest devil or demon or something like that, and I'm about bringing the light back to the land. So as you see, we work very well together with that.
And this one, P. Crawl, is here to keep an eye on this one, Mordecai.
I think, didn't you come originally to try and kill this guy, Pakral, or?
No. Keep an eye on originally, yeah. But like he's here with us, and Reynold trusts him, so like it's all right. He was a little like, and I think I could say this. I don't think I'm surprising anyone. A little dodgy there for a little bit, but
no, 100% sure.
Yeah. But like I think we're all right. I think we're all right. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing shady here.
He really showed his true colors after we killed an ice devil,
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, Bartok, no one has control over him anymore. He's in charge of his own power, so he's truly a loose cannon and does whatever.
Well, I didn't mean to start any disagreements.
Oh, no. This is all public information.
Yeah, like I said, it's not surprising anyone.
Mordecai, does it hurt that we talk to people about you like this?
At this point, I'm used to it.
See, it's fine.
Reynold, would you mind if my men and women, if we rest here?
Oh, sure, yeah. If anyone's paranoid about dying in their sleep, you're fully good here, and it's not supposed to happen in this temple. So, really should put people at ease.
I did not notice this place when I was approaching.
I made it an hour ago.
It's new.
Oh. Indeed.
Yeah,
well.
I just made it, man. I thought it into existence real hard about praying to Bahamut and the light and sugar fleas, and it was there.
Bartok seems to have a lot on his mind, but he seems somewhat relieved to have met with the three of you, and he'll take his leave as well and rest with some of his closest soldiers who have accompanied him.
As Bartok leaves, I'm gonna just kind of not whisper, just quietly mention over to Reynold. Hey,
what?
Mentioning that they're not gonna die in their sleep unprovoked makes them kind of feel like they're gonna die in their sleep. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
that's just like
that may be the case. But when
that's even more reason to not do it.
But when you have someone that's as paranoid as I am, thinking they're gonna die in their sleep because of all the enemies they've made, and I tell them unprovoked, you're not gonna die in your sleep, they're perfectly safe now, and they feel completely fine.
They're not perfectly. Look, let's play a little game right now, okay? I'm gonna pretend like I'm one of these people,
okay?
And I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking, all right? So you go ahead and tell me that I'm not gonna die. We're just talking, right? And I'm like, hey, I'm so happy to be here. I'm gonna go have a wonderful time. Here I go. Now say it.
Hey, welcome to the temple. We have
thank you.
A place to sleep, nice bed, sunlight, maybe a sermon. Yeah, you're not gonna die in your sleep because nobody can get in here.
This man's gonna kill me in my sleep.
I made this place. I can kick you out.
Should I start telling people I won't sacrifice their souls for power?
No, that's different.
Are you sure?
This is completely different. This is other worlds, Mordecai. Hold on there.
Shall I go around and say, don't worry, this one's definitely not a beholder this time?
Yes.
And so the group of you are relaxing, enjoying the sanctuary of this temple, meeting the people of town who you are giving a fair bit of hope to. This is far more than Marlin had ever done for them, or casual remarks you might hear. Marlin, who seemed to only be concerned with her own fashion and putting on extravagant parties that nobody was invited to. You wait for some time, and perhaps, is there anything immediately you want to tend to, or can we fast forward a few hours here?
I'm gonna
I
ask
think.
Reynold.
I think. Huh? What?
I was gonna ask you something.
Yeah, sure.
With the spell, does it provide like food and drink, or is it just shelter?
Nope. This is just a place to live.
Okay.
There's not. If I could, that I can. I have a spell that can do that. I can kind of like combo it up, but I don't have it prepared currently.
Lucky comments that dinner would be nice in the future.
Yeah. I don't think Lucky can get in here. Hold on. Let's.
Lucky. Is Lucky not allowed either?
Celestial elementals, Fae, Fiend, or Undead. If the creature of the chosen type attempts to enter the temple, they must make a Charisma save. On a failed save, they can't enter for 24 hours.
I'll be back on just a
Does
second.
that count
Sure.
if it's already inside the area?
If they're inside the temple, they're hindered by the magic that has made it, so they're like disadvantaged on stuff, and
Looks
or no,
like Buck-
they,
Looks like
it's a
Bucky and
D4.
Lucky are doormen. I think.
They're just like a
Agreed.
bit more lethargic than they were before. They don't feel as well. I would. Hey, Mordecai, 100%. I would let them in every time. But then if I let a Fae or Fiend in here or Undead, then a bunch of other can just come in and kill us all in our sleep, and that's kind of not what I'm going for here.
Well, technically, Lucky right now is a celestial.
Still on the list.
Oh, that's true.
Gotcha, celestial.
It's like
around.
throwing a free festival. Like, you get all kinds of riffraff just showing up. Come on.
I think Reynold would also like to hold a
I like
sermon.
free festivals. I'm sorry I said that. Please forgive me.
I don't even know what a free festival is, but by all means.
Festival where you don't pay anything. You go in
Oh.
and there's like, free music.
I wasn't sure if it was like
and
a specific type of festival, but
No. It's like,
regardless.
yeah. Okay, sorry.
Like a beer
Reynold-
festival.
Reynold will hold a sermon for like as long as he like can possibly make it sound convincing for, which may not be that long. It's gonna take the book that's on the podium and kind of like flip to a good expert from it, and he is going to start reading aloud. Hey, I don't know how many people in here believe in the light, especially after the false light bringer Marlin, who threw dinner parties for no one to attend, which was quite frankly the opposite of what a party is for. I am Reynold Hook. I am a chosen cleric of Bahamut. I carry the light with me, literally, and I use my holy divine powers to help the common people and bring the light back to the realm. Now, I'm gonna
charlatan.
No, I mean, I am trying my best here. I am self-taught in the ways of the divine. I truly was lucky in being given a shot by a god and deific figure. So I'm
Reynold, as
making the best
you
of
defend
it.
yourself, an elf strides forward. 6 or so young men and women follow her. They're together, but they seem to have fallen out of stride with one another, so there's several paces between each of them. This woman has walked into your temple. She's wrapped tightly in shimmering fabric. Her strides seem calm and deliberate, taking her forward with much more efficiency than her fellow travelers. Avail! A liar is here. The light is just after the darkness.
Yeah. That's how that works. I'm not saying you're wrong necessarily.
Alright. He's right in the middle of a thing. You're just gonna walk in like, you let him finish. You stand to the side, you wait your turn. Come on now. That's impolite.
We are
Impolite?
followers of the true
The god of rude. He follows the god of rude.
the true light.
Follows the god of tacky, huh?
Crawl. I appreciate it.
It's not right. It's
No,
not right.
I get it. No,
Our Lord is the new light. Shografles has left. This temple is a tomb.
Okay. All right. Few questions for you. And he puts the book down on the podium and kind of like rests his hands on it. So a few questions. I'm fully fine with you believing whatever it is you want to believe as long as people don't get hurt. I'm not here to tell you what to believe. I'm merely giving you an option. All right, first off. Second of, you say you believe in a lord and not Shograflees. May I ask who this lord is that you believe in? Do they have a name? Is it just
Shynduras, of course.
Shynduras. And may I ask how this Shynduras gained a popular belief or following?
Step outside and see yourself. His silvery scales light the sky like those of Shograflees once did. Look, yourself. Step out of your own light for a moment.
Okay. Two things with that. One, that feels like a threat, just being honest. Two, not saying that you're going to harm me. I'm just saying that sounds a little aggressive. And two, are you talking about the clouds and the storms? Like...
No. Shynduras, the silver. He flies now. Come, look. I will not harm you. Why would you fear me? I carry no weapons.
That doesn't mean you still can't wield magic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you came in here, you kicked in the door like you own the place, you started calling us all sorts of names, and then you demand that your God's better than my God, and blah, blah,
they
blah.
refuse.
And then you go... It's very... No, just you're saying, why would we think that you're going to harm us? And you've been nothing but aggressive and threatening since you walked in.
You refuse to even see or look at the true light.
I didn't see that.
Carl stands up and goes for the door.
I don't know, guys. I think she has a point.
Carl goes to the door and throws the door open and looks up.
Yeah, I look out as well.
The one with the face of Belial speaks the truth.
I think she's got a point.
I'm sorry?
What harm is... I think she has a point. What harm is there in going outside for...
I didn't say I was not going to look. I'm going to go look.
Yeah, see? And she grabs you arm in arm, Mordecai, and strolls out the front door and points upward. And as she does, you look into her eyes and they seem milky, like the eyes of a blind person.
Do I see anything outside?
As you look to the sky, you see a distant silvery light and a pale light emanating from it, much like the moon of our world when it is full. And this light is circling slowly around Fundar Stadur.
How hard he tries.
Oh, it's cute. He's like a baby light, isn't he?
What is that like a dragon? Or is that like a mystical being? I mean, if you want to teach me about this new light of yours, by all means, start preaching.
This is Shynduras, an ancient silver dragon. He is... In fact, we are following him to his coronation.
All
Locriana
right.
will make...
Bye.
Locriana will make him the light of the land.
His lighted pales. A simple mockery.
You say this, yet yours is simply an emulation of what once was, all contained in one building. Our light flies through the sky gloriously.
What once was will once again be.
I have a question, a hypothetical, if you will. If the true light... Sorry, that's what you call your light. If my light comes back into the sky and sunlight rains down upon us all, what happens then? Do the two fight for power? Sorry. Please continue.
Do you think the golden dragon will return?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, you are acting as fools. She is left with Bahamut. They have both.
Based on what? And how do you know that?
I simply
Did your
need
little
to look to
silvery,
the
did your little
skies.
shiny friend tell you?
Friend.
Yeah, I can look to the skies and I know that she's not there.
If
I don't
Shynduras
know
had
that she's
told
not
me,
coming back.
I would certainly believe it were true, for Shynduras is an
Okay.
ancient power.
Right.
friend-
And did Shynduras tell you that?
No, he did not.
So what's your source? Why do you think that the light's not coming back? You obviously must have a reason to think it.
It is known that Bahamut has left us. All of Bahamut's clerics have gone.
I'm
All of
here.
us. You who professes the power of Shograflees.
You can believe in more than one god, especially if they're dragon related.
Then ask him.
That's not that much of a stretch.
Ask
Bahamut?
Reynald. Has Bahamut left the realm? Did he answer your last prayer?
Are you gonna ask or? Yeah.
I mean, Reynolds' last prayer was answered. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and I am
did-
evidence of that, as I am standing here right now. The last prayer that he said was in the heat of battle when we saved these lands, and I sacrificed my life to make it happen. And as I lay there, dead, blood pouring out of my body, he came and brought the light from himself and from the gods that is channeled through him, and used it to bring me back to life. I was not breathing. I was unconscious. There wasn't a drop of blood left in my body. And I stand here in front of you as an indicator that the power that he got from Bahamut still flows through him.
Well, Reynald, you have convinced one thoroughly. But is that the truth? That Bahamut's
Yeah,
power is...
saving a man's life will do that, won't it?
Indeed.
Well, I did also say a prayer in the Temple of Light and brought like 40 people who died to a dragon back.
Yeah, he did that too.
There's also that too. So I've convinced at least 40 other people as well. Although I will be honest, I haven't preached in the name of Bahamut very often. I preach in the name of Shograflees now, the Light, because that is the more prudent matter of the two. But I do that because Bahamut came down to me and said to follow Shograflees and take back the light and put it back into the sky. So I kind of shifted focus, you know. So I believe in the two. It's just one is more prevalent right now and is a thing for everybody.
What if there were another dragon that could serve as the light just as well as Shograflees did? Why would that be a bad thing?
I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying that I have a personal goal to bring the light back to the sky in my own sense. And I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing to have another new light in place of that currently. I am just saying that I have my goals and you have yours, and that's perfectly fine. And our beliefs may not be the same, and it may not end up well for either of us to have a peaceful resolution if that ever becomes an issue, or if we hate each other because we believe differently. I'm not necessarily aggressive towards this new ancient silver dragon that is flying throughout the sky, but I'm fine with that. I am good terms with metallic dragons myself. I don't like chromatic dragons for my own reasons. So I don't see this ancient silver dragon flying in the sky as an enemy necessarily. I see it as an ally, or at least a acquaintance, or a friendly being who won't try to kill me.
Non-aggressor.
Yes.
Well, we are not aggressive people, but I am quite...
You were a little bit.
You came in a bit aggressive.
You came in a little hot.
I'm not gonna lie.
You did come in a little hot.
You can't come in and start talking down someone's god in the middle of the sermon and then be like, "Oh, I'm not being aggressive." You don't get to do that.
Besides that,
well, my concern was for the people who are being... Perhaps I will not call it a lie, because I'm not sure that you are lying, but they're being misled. The new light that we must follow is Shynduras. It is right here above us. Why would you wait?
You cannot call a spark a flame.
Just one glows brighter than the other.
Here's my question. You said, if there's another dragon that can light up the lands, is that so bad? And we agree that no, it's not. If we are able to help to bring Shograflees back to the land, is that so bad? Is that so wrong?
Well, no, Shynduras and Shograflees were Well, not friends, but friendly.
Yeah.
Then
so,
what's the problem?
You just came in and said, nah, Sugarfleece is gone. Give that up. She ain't coming back. We
That is
got
what
the
I
new
believe.
fella. Pack it in. Right, but what's the harm in us checking?
The harm is that you wait and no help will come for you. I am merely trying to lead you to the truth, something that is real, tangible, right before us.
I understand believing in something that you can physically see with your eyes. I get that greatly. I understand that perfectly clear, and I understand where you're coming from. I had a hard time believing in Bahamut, that Bahamut was on my side, until I became a champion of his, and he takes off his gauntlet. I grew scales on my arms. This is physical proof that Bahamut was in fact real to me, and only reinforced my belief that Bahamut was a god that actually existed. I put my stock in actions and not words. And I believe in doing actions instead of just preaching to the people. Hence why you will find me doing actions, helping people out, and saving lives instead of, as you saw back there, doing a quite frankly terrible sermon that didn't even begin.
No, it wasn't that bad.
I didn't even start.
Yeah, but it was a strong intro.
I honestly, I turned to this priest of the new light. You might have actually saved me from like a big blow because you interrupted me before things could go bad.
Well, nonetheless, you have created this temple of light. Might my travel weary and I stay here?
Of course, I was never going to refuse you entry and a place to lay your head. That would be a terrible thing to do based on just you in a different belief than mine.
Well, will you forgive me
bed.
for speaking rudely then, as your friend said? These are dark times, and those of pure heart are far between.
Hey. And I reach out to shake their hand. I have enough enemies as is. I'd love to have more allies. And I believe both of our hearts shine a light of different colors. Gold and silver.
And don't worry, you won't be murdered in your sleep.
You won't be murdered in your sleep. The big thing I'm advocating here in this temple.
When Reynald says that they both are shining a light, that whole little bit, he gets a telepathic message of basically saying like, "Oh, that was perfect, nice touch," and then when he says, "Then you won't get murdered in your sleep," and be like, he gets another signal. It's that was less good. Pull back.
I think that went well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Shynduras, Acto. This woman introduces herself as Acto, AKTO. She goes to the opening of the temple and beckons, and in come pouring dozens, and then perhaps over 100 people enter the temple. They look bedraggled. They've been journeying. Obviously, they're tired and sore and weary from the journey, and they go to rest. And Acto returns, and you find that she is traveling to Kurthak's summit, she tells you, where our god Shynduras will be ordained, will become the new light. Locriana will make him the light of the land. It is promised.
Sorry, you're gonna have to say those names again. Randall picks it uses Pinky to pick some lint out of his ear.
Acto is the new
priestess.
This new lady here that you have met.
I'm sorry. Remind me who I know we've met the
Queen
Locriana
is a very powerful black dragon who has taken over. You've learned that she has taken over kind of rulership of this realm in the absence of Sugarfleece. She claims that she is the new leader of the night.
Okay.
And she is ordaining this silver dragon as the new Silver Light.
Yep, that's what seems to be.
All right. Didn't catch on to that part until just recently. Might have a little bit of an issue. It's a metallic dragon. I'm sure it'll be okay. Plus, what can I do? It's an ancient silver dragon. What am I gonna kill it?
Reynold, will you be going to the Dragon Summit as well? I thought that all important representatives had been invited.
Oh. Yeah, I was invited.
Did I say something wrong?
No, you reminded me of having to deal with nobles, and I hate that.
It seems as though our paths do align, though we may follow a different light.
Just to be clear, Miss Octo, this silver dragon, it is like a metallic dragon, right? And not like a chromatic one.
Yes, and as you recollect, you remember
okay.
the name of Shynduras, a powerful ancient silver dragon.
Okay, I'm just double checking, because quite frankly, I don't like the queen dragon, and the black dragon. I don't think she's a good black dragon. There's not much.
No, but she does have the power right now, unfortunately.
Oh, I believe that.
Many of our people have gone to her cause, even those that follow the metallic dragons. They will be at the summit. This is, I'm sure you know, the first time such a summit has been called in generations of man.
Yeah. Oh, this is giving me a headache. I hate social gatherings.
So you are planning to go, and your friends?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm invited.
Oh yeah.
Mordecai, of course you're invited, pal. You're there to be a menacing presence that I then mellow out, and it's all good.
I feel like I could really be the life of the party if I try.
Oh, you are. Believe me, you are.
Yeah.
You've said
Yeah,
that
he walked in with a demon face and a green fella, and it distracts him anytime he says anything awkward. It's perfect.
It really is.
You said that you serve with your actions and not your words, and that you look after the people.
Yes.
Well, would you then do a favor to my people? We are to journey and help set up the festivities, but there are many among us who are a bit slower. Would you escort those of us who cannot keep up, so that we may proceed to help set up the festivities? That way, we can journey ahead of our brethren. Because you're going anyways.
I will. I do have some prior business with an orc clan and helping them with a migration path. Unless those two are along the same area and the same path.
I'm sorry, Bartok had insinuated that he would like more information gathered before any kind of actions on this were taken. So this Dragon Summit is probably related to gathering the intelligence that you would require for Bartok's objectives.
I figured would be the case. So I say to them, like, yes, I'll have some things I'll be doing along the way, but since I'm journeying there, we will gladly accompany your slower troop, and hopefully things won't go bad. But do know I am a war criminal. I'm wanted by a council of wizards, and they control.
We don't answer to the council anymore. The time of the treaty between dragons and men is past.
Oh, I know. They just have an army of vampires now. I killed like 30 of them before I came here.
Had taken the entire city of Omnis.
Yeah, it's bad. We had to get out of there. So I'm just letting you know that there's things out there that want to kill me and us. So
I would not expect otherwise.
Yeah.
Thank you for the fair warning.
Yeah. Well, good night. You'll wake up alive. Don't worry about it. And he gives him the smile.
And so many travelers have converged here on this new temple, this new sanctuary, and they take rest. Some have organized a hunting party, and they've mammoth would be an easy catch, but
I tell them, no, you're not doing that. You do that, you're not sleeping here tonight.
P-Crawl would probably go out with the hunting party, and he'll tell him something like, "Oh yeah, no, you don't want the mammoth out here. It's a bit gamey. That's some better stuff though. Come on."
There are plenty of elk at hand as well. So,
Yeah.
P-Crawl, you direct them towards a nice clearing where there will probably be elk, and there indeed are.
Find a nice little elk herd.
The group of you come back with quite a feast for everybody to enjoy. Let's take a break right there for about 10 minutes. We'll be back at 7:30 Pacific, and that's when the adventure will continue. The evil dragons or powerful dragons would have been existing below the surface, seeking sources well below the surface.
Gotcha.
Okay. Would we know how strong she is compared to Sugar Fleas?
Locriana would rival Sugar Fleas' strength as an ancient dragon.
She's having the power to put a silver dragon in place as the new source of light in the world. Then I would believe that they are pretty powerful.
Yeah, she's kind of assumed the role of queen of the land, in the absence of Sugar Fleas.
Okay. And a black dragon is a chromatic dragon, I believe. Just clarifying.
Right.
Okay. Well, and the dragon we fought at the Temple of Light in Omnis, that was a black dragon, I believe. No, it was a demon. There wasn't a dragon. It wasn't there. I'm making this up.
There was a dragon that attacked. I believe that was also a black dragon.
Okay, because that's
either a black or a red. I can't quite recall.
I think it was a black dragon because I was getting confused. I was like, did we meet this person already? Did we meet this queen? That's so, but no. Okay, now I was confused on that too.
From what we've heard, didn't we hear that the Chromatics had made some kind of deal with the devils?
I think it's possible, but I think part of that is that the dragons and people had an ages-old treaty in place that has kind of been, it's no longer honored, and so the chromatic and oh my gosh, why can't I think of the word for colorful or metallic? Excuse me. See, chrome is a metal, so
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it happens to me all the time. So they're working together now. It sounds like, of course, this summit is taking place where dragons of every kind are being summoned, dragon lords and ladies alike. And we're back live as well. Just want to mention that. When we left off, you all had met Acto, who seems to be some kind of prophet, cleric, servant of Shynduras, powerful silver dragon, who's seeking power, seeking to be instated as the light of the realm. And you've agreed to escort some of Acto's and Shynduras' followers to this summit. And this summit will be taking place outside of Tom de la, as you've been told. And you learn that it will be at Chanty's Rose Garden of the Sacrament. Now, the time for this temple's existence is coming to an end. People have kind of reaped the benefits of the sanctuary here, are feeling well rested, and their spirits rejuvenated as well.
All right, everybody, wake up. All right, I gotta give you bad news. This won't be here in in under an hour. So this is not a permanent fixture. I'm sorry if I made you upset.
As you say this, it just begins disappearing all around you. Your calculations were a little bit off.
Everyone, you got to get your stuff and get ready to get out because I don't know what happens when you stay in this when it dissolves, but you should get back onto the material plane as soon as you can. Everyone, single file line. Come on, let's go. Wake up. If you're gonna get stuck in the ethereal plane, and that's bad for everybody.
And these hundreds of people just rush out of the temple, rubbing their eyes from their deep slumbers.
No breakfast. Everyone get out.
And so you've been asked to lead around 100 travelers through the wild lands between here and Tom de la. And Acto thanks you for agreeing to this, and she says that she'll be leaving shortly, and it will take you longer than you would have expected if you'll be escorting our people. Some of them are, of course, elderly and young, so they're taking a little bit more time to travel than we expected. We greatly appreciate your aid. Of course, the brotherhood between gold, platinum, and silver dragons is an ancient one that we should uphold.
Right. Quick, before you leave, I am going to be going along this route to get to the meeting place, and we had interactions with the Dragonfolk army from the Queen, and they were very rude to me. And I just want to express that I don't know what's going to happen on the road, and I don't know if they'll be very aggressive and initiate a fight with me. But if you hear anything about me fighting these people, let it be known I didn't choose it. It was their fault.
A lot of you are a bit sensitive to rude people, aren't you?
I have been in so many bad situations that have ended in me almost dying. Of course, I'm sensitive.
And so, do you have other business to tend to here? Because it will be time to embark upon your journey if you wish to get to the Dragon Summit on time.
Anybody need to buy stuff?
And no, I mean, now that we got all these other people going to slow us down a bit, we probably should get on the road.
My friends, that's all I need.
Aw, thank you, as he looks towards the warlock wearing a devil's face.
And I high-five Lucky.
So the group of you set out with rations. People don't have carts. They're basically carrying their belongings, helping their loved ones along. And your journey will take you slowly across the frozen tundras of North on Thuld, and likely for the safety of journey you will travel along the coast the same way that you used to get here months ago. And so I would have you all travel into the wilderness with your belongings, with 100 or so of these followers of Shynduras. And as you leave the safety of Fundar Stadur, the wind grows more violent. And after several hours, all of the party and company are just soaked through their clothes and miserable. As you continue forward, walking amongst the group, maybe just making sure people are keeping up and all of that, you see that the group has stopped ahead in front of a large chasm spanning 50 feet across, and the depths are dark, incalculable.
Oh. I don't suppose anyone can jump over and tie a rope to the other end.
There's nervous laughter from those gathered around.
Yeah, figures. All right.
Can we see the other end?
I'm sorry, Mordecai?
Can we see the other end?
You can see the other side of the chasm. It looks like this giant crevice in the earth, going off in each direction like a river would until it's out of your sight, and across the chasm is about 50 feet.
I could send Lucky with a rope. If anyone has any.
We can make a rope bridge.
Yeah, I got rope.
All right, everybody, we're gonna build a bridge.
And Lucky flies into the air with the rope and says, "Hey, Mordecai, there's a bridge way down there already made of rope."
I'm gonna let my friends know.
Should I
All
come
right.
back?
It looks like yes. It looks like someone's done the work for us.
Oh, there's a.
Maybe we go check it out, inspect it a little bit before we just go sending all these people across here.
Yeah.
And as you approach, you see a rope bridge with wooden planks along the bottom, whipping violently in the wind, sometimes spinning all the way around as violent gusts pull through the chasm.
That's
That
pleasant.
seems fun.
How do they even build this?
And there are two large, like cornerstones or whatnot on either side of the chasm that have this rope wrapped tightly around it many times.
Reynold wants to go and inspect the rope and see if it's gonna snap immediately.
Okay. Will you make an investigation check, please?
Yeah, because seeing a rope bridge that has spun around like a jumping rope does not inspire confidence in the stability of said bridge. I got a 12.
Okay. Tugging the rope seems pretty sturdy.
Well, the bridge is not going to fall on us. Now we just have to go on it.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
You want me to go on that? You're crazy. Look at it. The bridge whips around in the air, doing another
It's
barrel
a
roll.
joke.
More nervous laughter from those gathered.
This is what you signed up for.
A large group has followed you here to this bridge, and they beckon over everybody else. Around 100 of these people have gathered.
You know, I'm really regretting not taking Death Ward today. Probably would come in handy with this bridge.
Yeah. We got too many. We can't fly them all over or do any
No.
magic or anything.
Hold on, is the gust magical? Because if they build a bridge here and then the air starts going through like crazy, I don't think that's natural.
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Does it seem like a natural wind?
You can make a nature or an arcana check if you like.
24. Nature.
Well, this chasm looks new, as though the earth has parted and split. And looking down, you cannot see the depths easily, but it feels as though these gusts of wind are what would probably naturally occur when such a pathway is opened. And they do flow west, as all the winds of Gira do.
Yeah. No, the wind's real. That's wind. It's
Sorry about that.
the pathway here is not. That's not natural. But the wind's. That's wind. Yeah.
The bridge is not real, or the chasm is not natural.
The chasm's not natural. It's real. It's not natural.
Randall's gonna look down either ends. Does it go on for a while? Does it look like it would add on more time just to go around it?
The chasm?
Yeah.
You can look for some time if you like.
Mordecai, can you send Lucky out to go scout and see if there's another way around while we figure out a solution to this, and maybe he'll come back?
So why are we afraid of the bridge exactly?
Because the bridge is a jump rope going, not just is going, and then it goes in a circle sometimes, and then it sways.
So can't we reinforce it?
It's
rope.
got a lot of. If we could block off the wind somehow.
I mean, maybe if like somebody stood on it, that would like weigh it down enough.
I think I might have a solution. What if
Weigh
we
it
just...
down.
How many people do we have with us?
About 100.
And it's 50 feet across.
Yeah.
Yeah, that complicates things a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a big guy. I could step out there first and hold it down.
No, hang on.
I think you would die, man. I'm being honest. I think that would be it for you. I could at least survive over the fall, maybe.
I figured it out. I know how we can test it.
Oh.
And I'm going to cast conjure animals. And I'm gonna summon up a 4 black bears. Just these like elemental fey bears, like just crawl out of the ground. And I'm like, all right, that's good, fellas. Yeah, okay. I need y'all to go across this bridge. Mordecai, hold down the end so they can get on it. Right? And I kind of try to hold one end of it steady so they can get onto the bridge.
Reynold
see if a little weight on there, I'll hold it.
And Reynold goes and holds it for Mordecai because he knows he's not gonna.
Yeah, worst choice.
Don't worry, Mordecai. You go ahead and supervise.
I know, but he's gonna ask you every time.
That's how I end up in the bottom.
The bears kind of grunt and roar, shrug off the snow, and begin stomping across the bridge that is waving about quite violently. And Reynold, as you said, in your hands, the rope of the bridge does begin to act like a jump rope that you cannot control. And at first, the weight of the bears does weigh down the bridge somewhat, but then a terrible gust comes and upends the bridge and the bears themselves, and they have no opposable thumbs with which to grab ropes, so they all plummet into the chasm, roaring as they go.
Yeah, so as they go out there, I'm like, yeah, see, I told you, we just need a little weight on it. All right, everyone, we can start to... Oh, wait. All right, never mind, that didn't work.
Don't worry, everyone. Those bears weren't real.
Yeah, they're fine. They're just, wait. Yep, there it goes. Spell's gone. It's fine.
I wish Acto was here.
We're your best chance.
Oh.
I bet this inspires some real faith in you, huh?
I should have done like some apes or something. I need something with thumbs. They could have held on.
Yeah. He's just showing us how long they can hold on for before they fly off into the chasm below.
All right. Well, it seemed like a good idea. I don't know what you want me to say.
Pete Crawl, with your nature check from earlier, as you're very in tune with your surroundings, you notice the gusts of wind becoming more and more violent. If things keep going this way, the bridge will be utterly impassable.
Yeah, it's not getting any better. It's only getting worse. We gotta do something.
Wait, we're on a coast, correct? As we're walking down the coast.
You are walking along the coastline, yes. And as you look out to sea, the sea is frozen, solid. The chasm extending into the sea.
So,
that's cheating.
I know this is not the best idea that we have. You said the chasm goes into the sea.
Well,
it
splits the frozen sea.
Damn, I was gonna suggest we water walk across, but that's not gonna happen. Well, yeah, I'm stumped. I don't know what to do here, guys. I'm really looking. If it was magical, I could dispel it maybe, but it's not magical. It's normal. I might fly off into the. Hold on, someone hold on to me, and I'm gonna hold out one arm for someone to hold on to me. I'm gonna peer down below and see if there's anything down there as creating this wind, like a beast or a creature.
I gotcha. Will you make a perception check, Reynold?
Sure. I got a 11. I can't see anything. It's
Darkness.
just dark.
Well, tie me off. I'll go across first. Just hold on to this rope.
I appreciate you, brave soul. But I'm
on
not
now.
going to allow that.
We've got to get across somehow. Just hold the rope. Tie it off here. If I fall, I'll just be held on by the rope. Tie around my waist. Then when I get across, you let go of the rope. I pull it in.
All right. Yeah.
Or no, I'll untie it and you pull it in. And then another.
Yeah, just go easy on it. All right. Mordecai, could you maybe just
This
you
is
still got
crazy.
that floss spell?
Okay. All right.
Maybe just have it ready just in case, you know?
We're gonna arrive with 99 people.
Like sweating bullets.
Good sir. What is your name? If I may ask. Jeremy, you are such a brave soul, and the great big ancient silver dragon in the sky is going to receive you in heaven, in dragon heaven, wherever that is.
But not today. Not today.
But
though.
not today, though.
Not today. God.
But your actions today are giving you a spot. All right.
Yeah, Reynold. I got it. Hey, you're a brave chap, and I'll respect it. All right, let's go.
Right. Well, they say now when you die, you don't go to heaven. Thanks for bringing that up.
I don't know. Okay. Take the damn rope and I just tie it off on him. I'm like, all right, now go. I'll hold on because I'm the strongest one here. Barely.
And this large man looks like he's lays a lot of brick and drinks a lot of beer.
Oh, sweet
And,
Jeremy.
Just holding on to the ropes, gives a wobble. He looks back, gives the thumbs up, keeps walking out. And sure enough, a powerful gust of wind comes and upends the bridge, and he falls like an anchor. Reynold, you're holding the rope only? Make an athletics check, please.
I got like my feet like on the stone, like digging in. I am holding on for dear life. Oh God.
Reynold, you're going to plummet over the edge unless you drop the rope.
Can I use Therazis' Grace? No, wait, that's if I have advantage, right? Oh, no, I can just re-roll, can't I?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna re-roll that.
Yes, feels like a really good time for that.
15?
And you're able to brace yourself
Therazis,
with enough time
please!
for some more people to come to your aid, and you all reel in this huge man. And when he comes up, he's kind of chuckling. Did it go so well?
Yeah, I don't think just walking across the bridge is the answer here, fellas. I wanted to take a look around like the immediate area. Do I see anything else? Any indication of some other method that we could use? Maybe something a little bit outside of the box or more non-traditional that we're not seeing. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to look for anything.
Around, there aren't many more clues. You just have the supplies with you. This bridge before you that would, need a lot of steadying in some fashion if people were to cross it, or magical reinforcement. There are trees around and stones. And the group of you have as much rope as you need, among all the travelers.
How long is the bridge, you said?
50 feet.
Okay.
When we were before we came here, when we initially came across the chasm,
there was no chasm here when you came. So this is new.
I know, but when we were sitting there at the edge, and then Mordecai had Lucky go out and find the bridge.
Yes.
When we were there before, was it gusty there? Could we tell? Does it seem like it?
Very windy throughout the chasm. Yes.
It's just throughout everywhere. Okay.
Yes. So this seems like the main crossing point, so to speak.
Okay. I want to try something, and I don't know if this is going to work. It's probably not going to work, but we're going to try it.
Let's see.
Because I don't know. I got nothing. I'm going to go to just like the beginning of the bridge, and I'm going to put my hand on the ground, right there at the base, like right at the edge of like the cliff.
I'm gonna slap you and give you
toward the bridge?
guidance before you do anything.
Cool. I'm not doing any ability or skill checks though. So
Let's
that's not
use
gonna work.
guidance as a reaction, guys.
Okay.
I'm
Keep doing
going
that.
to cast entangle, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use entangle to entangle to reinforce the bridge basically and use those vines to hold the bridge steady from that end.
Okay. Okay. Would you like to take additional measures? The vines begin to wrap around the bridge, and where they are secured near the land, they become quite stable and fixed as the vines, just crawl over and over each other.
If we can, for the sake of this situation, because entangle doesn't really have like an upcasting advantage, but if we could, for the sake of this, say that if I'll burn a higher level spell slot to get some sturdier vines to hold a little stronger, I'd be willing to do that. But other than that, I don't really
know
have
that
anything
you would be able to empower the
additional that I
spell
could-
by yourself.
yeah.
Maybe Mordecai or Reynold would have a way to empower it, but you definitely can hold these vines that reach out almost 40 feet, almost halfway across the bridge, securing it quite well.
Does anyone else know any sort of, I'm addressing the whole group of us, the group here, anyone know any little bit of nature magic? You can do a little bit of vines, little snap. It's a real simple nature spell. If you got any basic understanding of nature, nothing? Any arcane users amongst us? Does anyone have any skills?
We're just
or
simple
anything?
people.
That's fine. We're not looking for great warriors. Sometimes the simplest task can help out in a pinch, right? Nothing. No, that's all right.
Our guides.
Yeah, we are. Here's the thing. This is new.
I can't kill wind.
So,
Well, the effects of your spell have stabilized half of the bridge. It would be a less dangerous feat to try to cross now. It looks like we're not coming up with any other ideas either, so it might be time to try this.
I do have one last thing. Is the wind? You said there's been like these like massive gusts that come through, and then it kind of is just shaky. Is there any pattern to it? Does it seem to be any rhythm to it, sort of, or is it just very all over the place?
They do seem to be coming in waves of 3, and after 9 gusts pass, you notice a remarkable increase in their ferocity.
All right.
I got an idea. This may or may not work. I have no clue.
Okay.
Reynold is going to cast Spirit Guardians at 3rd level, and he is going to conjure up spirits of silver and gold metallic dragons to maybe hold the bridge in place and secure it with their talons. They like, I don't know how many spirits it says I summoned, but just a good number of spirits come out and they attempt to hold the bridge in place on our end with their talons and keep it with beating winds or with their beating their wings to keep it stable.
Okay.
This is about all I got, guys.
Yeah, that's good. And then I've got this. All right. So just be ready. We're all going to have to follow me because we're going to have to do this quickly. Okay. Everybody, can I get everyone's attention, please? Everyone get ready to go.
Everybody looks your way.
All right. Is everyone ready? Because here's the thing. We're going to do this. It's going to be safe, but we have to do it quickly in order to maintain the safety. Does everyone understand? I am going to unleash my vines over here. Make a mad dash across. Get to the other side. And secure over there as well. I need everybody coming directly behind me as I go. Don't crowd. Don't push. but move quickly. And those of you that have the strongest grip and the best capabilities of holding on, you come in last.
And
Right.
Crawl, will you do me a favor and make a perception check, please?
Perception? All
Yes.
day, buddy. Let's see. I rolled a 16 plus 13, so that's a 29.
And you suspect that 20 people can make it across at a time between gusts as you're timing them. So you may need to make a few of these trips.
So I would have calibrated that before I did this whole
Absolutely,
spiel.
yes.
So I'm saying, all right, so we're going to group up into groups of 20. Okay? And I'm going to secure the bridge over here. And then I'm going to give you a go. And when I say go, go. And you got about 10 seconds to get across for each group.
The bricklayer picks up an old lady and puts her over his shoulder. Oh,
I like that initiative. Well done. All right. Okay, first group coming up. And I wait for like the big gust to hit. And then as soon as the bridge like starts to settle, I'm now go.
And they take your cue, rush across. 20 of them across the vines entangling the bridge. When they get to the second half, though, it becomes quite precarious. And although there is no gust, the looseness of the bridge and the hurriedness of the people lead to a tragic error, and one man plummets over the side.
Was it Jeremy?
No, Jeremy still has the old lady on his shoulder. He's grabbing the ropes, and he's the first one to step foot on the other side.
Is the old man that falls over? Shoot. That's not gonna work.
Oh, we maybe should have put a system in place to catch people if they fell.
That's okay. Reynold can always bring him back.
You had asked Mordecai to prepare the fly spell. I don't know if that is in play or if this man is just plummeting to his death.
If I am holding the fly spell, I will cast it.
Very good. That was part of the plan, I thought Reynold had advised. Okay.
In that case, so I'm going to cast it on myself, him, and Reynold.
So this old man can now fly.
Okay.
So you'll need to. Are you going to try to dive over the cliff after him? You'll need to touch him to enact this.
This is
spell.
correct.
It's a touch spell.
So you see me swan dive right off.
Okay. Will you make an acrobatics check for me, please?
Oh, I'm so good at these.
Do I have to swan dive off as well to also get fly?
I feel like I can touch you on my way down. So it's going to be acrobatics, you said?
What? Yes, and what spell slot are you using for this?
I only have 5th level slots.
Oh, okay, very good. So you can make 3 people fly with this, if I'm correct.
Correct. So that's a 14.
Okay. Yeah, you run to the edge of the sturdy bridge and just take a dive over the edge, touching Reynold as you go. I'll allow that. Casting the spell, and your dive is immaculate. And you just tag, not Jeremy, this random man on the leg and grant him the ability to fly. He flaps around very uncertainly and kind of smashes into the cliff before kind of finding his bearings. And Mordecai, as you dive into this chasm, some of the walls of it reveal themselves, and you see caves and alcoves throughout. And as you were looking, you see the flash of eyes gleaming, and you see 2 winged creatures spring forth from the cliff face within the chasm, perhaps just below the edge, and they glide out with their wings flying towards you, flying towards the man that you have just rescued from certain death. Sorry. And then as they fly towards you, you see that they're brandishing daggers. These are dragon-like creatures, but they look twisted. They have an evil look in their eye.
Great.
And the one that flies by you misses twice with 2 daggers. It's using its wings to glide past. The second one goes towards the man who you have just cast fly upon. And he too has terrible aim here as he glides by, missing with both daggers. And let me pull these onto the battle map real quick. And everybody please roll initiative.
So that'll be a 10 for me.
A
That's
14.
a 19 on me.
At least Jeremy made it.
And we'll have these creatures 10 feet below the surface where you all are. And roll my initiative. And P-Crawl, you can act first. You see these 2 winged dragon-like mutants flying from the sides of the cliffs, slicing with steel daggers at Mordecai, who's trying to make a brave save here.
Right. No. Okay. Let's try to do something really cool. Actually, no, I can still make that work. I'm gonna do this and the wind and everything is still blowing like crazy through there, right?
Yeah, we're between gusts at the moment, but another one's about to kick up.
Okay. Then I am going to I'm gonna run to the edge here. I'm gonna do this in full Legolas style, absolutely unnecessarily flashy. And I'm gonna leap off the side with my bow and arrow.
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna fire an arrow at the first one.
Okay.
After I teleport 10 feet.
He's suicidal.
Because I get to teleport before my attack. So I'm gonna leap off, teleport 10 feet, shoot an arrow down, teleport 10 more feet, shoot an arrow down at this guy, teleport 10 more feet to shoot my third arrow because I made 2 attacks, and then bonus action Misty Step over here.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's have some attacks.
So I'm going to roll the attacks for that. So this is on the first one. It's going to be, oh wait, this is longbow. Oh, this is my weaker weapon. I only have a +9 to attack on this one.
That's all.
Okay, so that is 8 points of piercing damage off of that one. Second attack on the second guy misses. Third attack is going to be on the same guy for 17.
Hits.
12 points of piercing damage on that one.
Okay, very good. And these creatures are not wearing any armor, just the natural toughness of their scales seem to have deflected the arrows that missed. Arrow. Will that be all from P-Crawl?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be it for me.
And after P-Crawl, You see the two dragons of like reddish copper hue gliding about, and then suddenly before you appears a far larger dragon monstrosity. This one silver or platinum, dark platinum in color, and this creature flies out of the chasm below and alights directly in front of you here, P-Crawl.
Of course he does. They always come for me.
And indeed, this one is carrying two large serrated swords, and it will swing them at P-Crawl.
Oh, yeah?
13 will miss, and so will the other. But then, much like a dragon would when attacking, this creature whips around quickly, swinging its tail at you. And misses as well. Perhaps upon the edge of the cliff here, it has not yet found solid footing. But then...
hop over it like and skip it.
And then P-Crawl, past this dragon, you see more reddish copper dragons swarming into the chasm, coming from seemingly just the cliff sides. There are 4 more of them that all move to surround Mordecai.
Uh-oh.
It's fine, right?
That's fine.
And these
How good your constitution
draconians,
saves.
they go to glide past you, all of them brandishing knives, seeming to drip with something, and this will be a slurry of knife attacks against Mordecai. Or dagger attacks, excuse me. 15.
That just hits.
Okay. So we'll have 1 hit and another 2 attacks from the second.
That'll hit.
Both of these will hit. 2 more attacks come in. Steel flashes from the group of these draconians surrounding you. And from the 4th, 1 more hit. So 4 of these daggers have hit so far. I'm going to deal out this damage now. Oh, not bad rolls. 7, 6, and 7 damage. And 5. It's weird how it separates it after like your first roll of... Anyways. There's another draconian at your side with blades. Both of these will hit.
Okay.
5 and 5 damage. And the 6 of these creatures follows after the person who you're escorting who has fallen and tries to stab at them as well. But they're not able to do so. Perhaps they're out of practice when it comes to flying and fighting. And next is Reynald.
Okay. Not great. So he just got hit like 6 times, which sucks. I gotta ask, how are you still flying? Are you still concentrating on the spell?
I have to make, I believe, was it 6 saving throws?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So I do have advantage because of my, one of my
Is a warcaster.
Warlock invocations.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm posting it now.
Okay. All right, let's see it.
I love warlocks.
I don't know if that's going to be enough. Okay, so advantage constitution saves 6.
Just got to get at least a 10 on all of them.
13.
So that's a save. That's
22.
a save.
12.
That's a save.
19.
Save.
19.
19. One more.
Nice. Nice.
Hey. So
Whew.
I'm still flying.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry. I did overlook something. Would you please make Constitution saving throws? I'll need 6 of them. Not as concentration checks.
6 more.
You have stuff that goes against poison?
Not currently. So that's going to be 6.
Yes, please.
Constitution.
$24. When the blades of the second draconian stab into you, you feel your body hardening and you become paralyzed.
Oh, jeez.
If you're paralyzed and flying, the flying doesn't end.
It's
You're
not
still conscious.
It's not wings
Yeah.
flying.
If he was
It's
flying with
magic
wings,
flying.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you are flying but unable to move. Strange. It's like a kind of be like a statue flying around.
Like fixed in place.
Yeah.
He's actually just an immovable rod.
And I'm sorry, that does bring us to Reynold then.
Okay. Well, this sucks. I would say we're in between gusts right now, which means I can get on the bridge and actually do some stuff. I know I can fly, but seeing as how it is very bad and the chances aren't great, I'm going to go ahead and move can I say I was a bit closer to the bridge because I was holding on with rope to...
Yeah, absolutely. I'd put you occupying the same square as this cornerstone here.
Okay. All right. That does help because I'm a dwarf and I can't move very quick. And then... All right. So I'm going to get up right next to... I can't get that guy no matter what. All right. So I'm going to get up right next to one of these dragon beings.
Okay, they are 10 feet down below level with the bridge.
I have I'm flying too, which makes movement not an issue currently because I can move 60 feet flying. I have my spirit guardians on right now as I was still concentrating on it, and spirit guardians is a radius of 15 feet.
Okay.
So I would hopefully be able to affect all 5 of these creatures if they are within my radius. If not, I'll move with my speed to get within radius of them. If the
yes, they'll all
diagonals
be
is
within your
weird.
radius. That's fine.
Okay. So I will move up to them. That means whenever it's on their turn, some
On the
bad
start
stuff
of their
will
turn.
happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah, some bad stuff will happen to them. But currently, right now, Reynold is very scared for his friend. So he is, man, what can he do? This is bad. You know,
Go ahead, my friend.
okay. Oh, here's something that can actually work. I'm going to do... Oh, I haven't used the spell in a while. I'm going to do Flame Strike at 5th level. Centering it on... Ooh, Mordecai is going to have a rough time if I do that on him, but he's got fire resistance. He's okay. It's
Well, that's
10-foot
not concentration.
Yeah, it's not concentration, which is...
Go ahead, Reynold. Do what
All
you'll
right.
do.
Okay, so it's a 10-foot radius, so I'm going to center it on...
It's all right.
All right, fine. I'll just put it... I'll put it on this guy here so that all of them will have... Well, all of them will be in it, including Mordecai. I'm sorry, but I can get you back if you die. They must make dexterity saving throws, or else they take a bunch of damage, or half as much if they succeed. I didn't upcast it, so we're just doing basic.
Start with the top left, moving clockwise. 16. 10. 10. 6.
Save
Dexterity, but you're
6.
paralyzed.
the auto fail.
Yeah.
Okay, so these all fail, and then Mordecai, of course, because he's paralyzed as well.
Yeah. So they are going to take 46 fire and 46 radiant.
Okay.
I'm going to roll the fire damage right now.
Okay.
Mordecai hopefully doesn't take as much. 13 fire
Okay.
damage. And then here's radiant damage. It will be 17 radiant damage. And Mordecai takes that as well. As just a pillar of flame seemingly erupts around them. Reynold winces as he watches Mordecai get burnt up with holy flaming light and is like, ooh, not great. But it was truly his best option at the moment.
One of the Draconians falls slain into the chasm, disappearing into the abyss.
And after that, Reynolds is going to look at Pakral and say, oh, this is bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
After Reynold is Mordecai.
So I made
Oh,
that
sorry.
last Constitution save too.
Very good.
I think you're skipping me.
P-Crawl, you're first at the top of initiative, so we haven't quite gotten back there yet. But thank you, because I definitely
I'm
have
sorry.
I definitely have skipped you many times. So
I thought Mordecai
no
went
need to
after me.
apologize.
No, I thought
haven't-
Mordecai went after me. I got confused. He's been rolling so many
haven't
dice.
I haven't gone yet. I just took a bunch of damage.
you just rolling a lot of saves.
Truly sorry about
I got
that.
confused.
So you do make the save. You're going to take that damage, though, not being able to avoid it, and then it is your turn, Mordecai.
So at the start of my turn, I'm still paralyzed.
Yes.
Do I get another save at that?
You'll still be poisoned. You'll need something to end the poison status. Oh, I'm sorry. Until the end of the target's next turn. Better news.
Okay. So at the
So
end of
you'll
my
still be
turn-
paralyzed for this turn.
Okay. If I'm paralyzed, I can't do anything. I have no actions or reactions. So
Okay.
I guess that is my turn.
The people continue to rush across the bridge, and the other 19 of them make it safely across during this, space of time that you've told them to go during. And just after that, a tremendous gust of wind whips through the chasm. Mordecai, you're spun about and turned upside down, pulled 40 feet as these Draconians flap their wings, trying to maintain their position without being disrupted here by the winds. And all the group of them are, carried down the chasm, kind of split apart to where they would much rather prefer surrounding you, but and so is the last person that you cast fly upon. He clings to the side of the cliff, his fingernails just digging in as the Draconian is carried away, and he begins to climb very easily, like when you're rock climbing and the person who's spotting you is basically just lifting you all the way up because he's flying. So he makes it up there. And Reynold, so the entangled vines are still on the south side of the bridge, right?
Yes.
Pico?
Yeah, I'm still concentrating on it.
Okay, then Reynold, you won't need to make any kind of save on the bridge because the vines are stabilizing very close to the half that you're on. You've basically taken your first step onto the dangerous part of the bridge, and that's where we'll go to the top of initiative with P-Crawl.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna look at this. The big fella standing in front of me that already took a couple swings at me.
Yes, he's well armored as well, seeming to wear.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see that, and in seeing that, I'm going to let go of my bow and pull my scimitar. I'll pick up the bow after the fight. We'll come back to that. And I'm going to do my little disappear, reappear number, bounce around him a couple of times, making a couple attacks. But the first thing I do before I do that is I'm going to use my Planar Warrior feature to kind of mark him with that. And then I'm going to take 2 swings. Hiya, hiya. First one's a dirty 20.
Hits.
All right. So that's going to be 22 points of force damage from that attack.
Okay.
And the second attack is another dirty 20.
Hits.
I think I only get that extra damage on the first attack. Yeah, it's just the one attack. So this one will just be regular scimitar attack, 12 points of slashing damage off of that one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to
and as your sword finds its target, this warrior looks a bit surprised and seems to be rethinking their strategy. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to hit him twice, and then I'm gonna just drop back, like way back from him, into like the trees back here. I get a free disengage with the mobile feat.
Okay, thank you.
And
you can occupy this. You can occupy the same space as a tree to receive cover from ranged attacks if you like.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was going for.
Very good. And
But yeah, so it's basically just a boom, boom, and then I'm just gone before he even realizes what happened.
And as he gets pieced up quickly, he looks. And P-Crawl, will you make an insight check for me also?
Sure. 21.
There's something familiar about the eyes of this draconian. Can't place it. And this draconian looks to the chasm and glances about, finds you hiding behind a tree, P-Crawl, and the draconian, lifts into the air, flapping its wings, and moves quickly away for its size. It's quite surprising, the girth of this thing, as it carries itself away into the dark skies.
All right.
And then within the chasm where these draconians are gliding around, the wind has taken them, upended some of them. They, stabilize themselves and attempt to glide towards you, Mordecai. One of them is kind of upended so that he's not able to come in for the attack. He's ended up far below you, and you recognize that they are not flapping their wings to achieve flight. These are simply gliding at a very slow rate of descent. And so 3 of these, to begin with, will glide past you, making their attacks with daggers, and the first one will attack. Hey-o. A 10, I believe, was enough to hit. Or 15, excuse me. 10 on
15 is my armor class, yes.
Okay. So I'll begin with those hits, actually. And then for the critical hit here.
Sorry, I'm confused. For the other ones, you just rolled a d20. For these, you rolled a d20 plus 5.
I'm sorry. So the modifier... Oh, you're right. Thank you. Good call. I was adding the additional 5, so that first 10 would miss. So not the 6 damage. Thank you.
Okay.
And then the second creature will attack you twice. My bad on that. The first will miss. The second will miss badly as he actually drops his dagger into the chasm below. And the third one makes its attacks against you, Mordecai. And so the 13 becomes an 18, enough to hit.
Yeah.
And so the final dagger will strike you for 6 damage. So 2 hits total there from these 3. And the one that is furthest away from you and kind of finds itself away from the group looks back towards the wall where the person is clutching and just rising easily. And instead turns and glides, descending into the pit, into the darkness, and out of view as it kind of turns into the side of the chasm here. And then, Reynold, it is your turn. You stand on the bridge here, right where it becomes unsturdy from the gusts of wind.
All right, important fly check. Can I fly still?
Oh.
And is Mordecai plummeting to his death?
Mordecai is surrounded by these creatures, taking a lot of hits, is what it looks like.
I know, but does he have concentration on it? Is what I'm asking.
Oh, that's right. I took a bunch of...
I'm not sure how Reynold would know that.
Well, he would plummet.
He's saying I didn't make concentration saves.
That's what I'm going for.
He's trying to figure out, because Reynold's under the effect of that fly spell too.
Yeah,
so
that's why I'm asking.
Very good.
1, 2...
Oh man, did that old man get over the ledge? Get back on the... Or is he still climbing over
He's
there?
climbing, but very easily and rapidly towards the top. He looks like he'll probably be all right unless he freaks out.
He's probably going to have a rough time if this doesn't work.
Well, that's why, yeah.
Old man about to really go into hard mode real quick when he can't use fly power anymore.
So 2 concentration saves from Mordecai.
17.
Good.
22.
Okay, 22. Good.
Looks like I'm still up.
Okay, good. Then, in that case, Reynold is going to swan dive off, as in classic fashion with everybody else. Seems to be all the rage these days. Yeah, with all the rage these days, I'm going to swan dive off like my friends. And I'm going to get right up next to Mordecai. And could I swing it to where I would use enough movement to get on this side of the creature of Mordecai, using movement just to circumvent?
60 feet.
Yeah. So I would fly over, then I'll go right above and then descend down, so I'll be in place because I don't want to take an opportunity attack. And I'm going to then touch Mordecai and finally give him a chance to play this combat and cast Lesser Restoration at 2nd level to end the paralyzed effect so he can play.
Didn't that end at his last turn?
Yeah, I'm no longer paralyzed.
Sorry, I described him as paralyzed at the beginning of your turn, Reynold, so I think you would realize that he's not paralyzed, obviously, as he breaks free of the spell. My mistake.
Okay, then. In that case...
Sorry, my friend. You don't need to do that, then, if you don't...
All right.
Yeah.
Then, very rarely, I'm going to then start swinging my hammer at these creatures that are next to me. I'm going to take 1 attack at the one left of Mordecai. And I'm just going to start swinging into him as much as I can. So I'm going to make 1 attack. That is a 10. I'm going to use War God's Blessing to add 10 to it.
Okay.
Because I rarely do that nowadays, to make it a 20.
That'll hit.
Okay, and I'm going to roll damage. That is 13 bludgeoning.
And that's the one pictured right of you on the screen?
I was aiming at this one.
Oh, okay. And as your warhammer just bludgeons this creature, it explodes in acid. Ooh. Please make Mordecai and Reynold make dexterity saving throws.
Okay. Not great at that. Oh, not
Mordecai's
nat 20.
Not paralyzed for this though. That's
gives him a chance.
Okay, a 20 and a 10.
I'm gonna go ahead and use Devil's Own Luck on this. I've been saving it just in case.
Hey,
All right,
nice.
I'll take a 20.
220s.
And you avoid this splash of acid that would have surely been infuriating. Okay. Right.
Okay. And then I'm gonna turn around and start hitting on this guy with my second attack with my Warhammer. Another 10. Can I do that War God's Blessing twice in a turn? Let me check real quick. I think it's a reaction. Yes. So it's just a 10. I don't know if that hits or not.
Miss.
Whiffs it and then comes back with a bonus action to use War Priest. Is going to attack with his Warhammer one last time.
Hits.
A 16.
Hits.
Okay, cool. That is going to be 10 bludgeoning damage as I just swing down into his skull.
And like another vat of or balloon of acid is being burst, it explodes. And will you guys please make dexterity checks, Reynolds, Mordecai?
All right. I had a +1 to that for dex saves, but it's just a 10.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Mordecai 19. Reynolds you will be covered in acid.
Ah!
And you're going to excuse me. You're going to take 10 damage, and you'll be covered in acid for a minute. You are going to take 7 damage at the beginning of your turn from this.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody can wipe off the acid off of you, or you can try to clean it off of yourself with an action.
All right. Duly
Go
noted. It's my action and bonus action. It's my movement. I'm good. I'm going to sit there where I'm at. And, yeah, I'm just going to stick there. That'll be my turn.
Okay, Mordecai, here you are. You've regained control of your faculties. It is your turn.
So there's just one of these left in front of me, right?
There's the one directly adjacent to you and one a little bit further away to the north.
Okay, I'm gonna have Lucky provide advantage on my next attack to counter the disadvantage from being in melee. So this is going to be a straight roll with Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Will that hit?
Hits. 23.
Awesome. So that's going to do 12 damage.
And this is to the one at hand, right?
Yes, and he's also pushed 10 feet away.
And your blast pushes him. I'm going to show the spell description to see if they take damage or they're pushed first. Okay.
It's an Eldritch invocation.
The invocation
that
pushes them, yeah.
So it says when you hit a creature.
Okay. That'll be before damage, then. I'm down with that. And you will deal your damage, and as it's pushed away, your magic pushes it away, and then it explodes safely out of the range of the two of you. It's slain.
In that case, I'm going to target the other one
Okay.
below with my next two blasts.
Both hit.
Awesome. So that's 19 damage.
And this one is just pushed and splattered across the side of the cliff like a large acid wash.
Ew, he exploded.
And there are no other visible threats, and you sense that the danger of combat is gone. You've dispatched these draconians and their ambush, and as you're recovering, the people who are gathered on the other side, they see that the draconians are cut down, and one among them yells, "Go now!" Another group begins to rush across the bridge. And
I run to the other side to try to hold it sturdy.
I get close just in
Okay.
case anyone starts to fall off. This is bad.
And there is another gust of wind, but with your efforts, this next group is able to make it across. And so the danger of these combatants, the draconians, has been allayed. And you've also, P. Crawl, you were very in tune with what's happening here. The chaos of the land speaks to you for some reason, so you're able to time these gusts of wind easily. And because Reynold, Mordecai, you're at hand, any who's struggling crossing, you help easily. And you can get this group of 100 travelers across the chasm safely. None are slain.
You just hear me whisper like, "Not worth it. Next time I'm letting them die."
Brandon wipes the acid off of him and is like, "Man, that was rough, Mordecai. You took a beating.
I'm tougher than I look.
You got shanked hard, and then I blew you up with fire. Sorry, by the way."
It felt like my prison stint.
As you guys are having that conversation, Carl scrolls up and strolls up and is like, "Hey, all right, those guys weren't too bad, huh? I don't even think they even touched me. Hey,
Yeah, I got a little bit of acid on me.
Take on a few of them,
Ugh.
I think."
Yeah, I
Hey,
think
Mordecai, what happened to you?
Yeah. Oh, he
I can bring another one if you like.
It's all right.
Summon one just to entertain you if that's what you prefer.
let's get away from this deadly, ghastly gorge and
Yeah.
Let's get out of the cold. I'll start making us somewhere to stay. You look like you could use a bit of rest, says Jeremy, the bricklayer, beer drinker.
Jeremy, I hope you know that you have now become an important part of our lives since I've learned your name.
All right, well,
You're a part of this troop now. We're taking you everywhere we go.
I'm used to laying bricks, but I could do something with the branches of these trees, too.
Yeah. Are you making a shelter for the night?
I don't want to be sleeping in the wind. What do you think? You're leading us.
Well, I can make a whole temple.
Well, you have done me, then.
I can lay bricks with my holy divine powers.
Okay, buddy, you don't have to. You don't have to.
All
brag
right,
that
all right.
hard.
Don't lay it so thick.
Like a
Hi,
brick?
Jeremy.
Well, we got tents and such among us as well. Are you going to make another temple like you did?
I won't make another temple. That's what it's there for.
Will we have to rush out of it again?
Not if we. No, we just slept in this morning. That's all.
Yeah, we slept in hard. It's a full 24 hours, so we could hang out in it for a bit.
You think it might draw attention to us, maybe? It is a nice place, but maybe we should stay under the... There is no such thing as radar. Should stay...
Jeremy, what's a radar?
Stay clear of the dragon's nose, as they say.
Well...
We got to stay under the seeming spells. Stay out from under the seeming spells.
If it helps, they can't use divination magic to find out where we are when we're in there.
Right,
But
well...
they can physically see the temple.
Well, I can't see it. Why don't we get it going here? It's getting cold, ain't it?
All right.
Yeah.
I try to...
Sorry.
Go ahead, Mordecai.
Go ahead, Mordecai.
Why don't we set up a fake camp?
Yeah.
We can.
It's a good idea.
I need a lot of space for this temple, though. It's just not like a door that I make and then we go through it. It's 120 feet, like wide. It's a big place.
You got to use the whole thing.
Yes, unfortunately I do. I can't just make a door to a temple. That'd be way easier and more convenient. I gotta make the physical building for whatever reason, and then.
Reynold, will you be casting that spell?
Yeah, I'll cast it. I'll try to find a nice. I doubt I'll find a place for it, but somewhere that's in between trees to give a little bit of cover over the top. But I don't think I'll find a place that has 120 feet of space that's open and clear.
Make a nature check for me, please.
All right, here
Anybody
we go.
who's trained in nature can assist.
That's me.
I'm looking at this nature.
You be trying to pitch a tent. It's not going well.
Yeah, I can't.
There is a clearing, but you can't find one that offers safety in the way of trees.
Yeah. All right, I'll just put it down here. All right.
There is.
Uh-oh, we got a bunch of rowdy gamers here in the chat. Hey, Game Master Eric, thanks for the raid, my friend. Appreciate that. We're getting towards the tail end of our session as well, but that's much appreciated. We'll make sure to drop a follow to you as well.
We encountered the hardest obstacle in a D&D game, a pit, a chasm that we had to cross.
At least it's not as bad as a door.
Yeah, a door would be worse.
Took a
we'd all be dead. We'd
the
all be
same
dead
amount
by
of time as a door to pass, though.
Yeah, we all know.
Hey, Bodhi.
What?
Bodhi, that temple spell you got, it says up to 120 feet on each side.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh. I make a like like those old schoolhouses. you know those old schoolhouses they would have in like old western towns where it's like
a barn
schoolhouse.
It doubles as like a church sometimes, but it's mainly used as to teach children. But it's like a relatively small building.
Yeah.
I make that and I open up the interior and it's cramped.
A more humble version of the temple you created earlier.
Yeah, because I used all the space because Reynold was reading the book and was like, I have to use 120 feet. Wow.
The spell.
He skimmed through it and he was like, wow, all right. But now he's made a much more smaller, compact version with not with all the extra stuff as before, but more of his like a more humble traveling center. The main space is just filled with beds. There's no like pews or anything like that.
So the group of you have thwarted this attack from these Draconians who seem to be using the bridge as an ambush point. And you have safely led around 100 followers of Shynduras. And as you set up your temple for the evening, Shynduras himself is flying over, much like the moon of our world. And the light of Shynduras will be cast upon you. But Shynduras' flight does not circle, and he is not staying with you. He is continuing forward to the Dragon Summit. And so, over the course of the night, you will be left again in darkness, except for within your temple, where it is quite welcoming.
It's like a nice sunset I have going through the windows.
And so that's where we'll end the adventure for this evening, on the way to our Dragon Summit, and we should arrive there next session for some interesting, perhaps politicking, battle plans. Who knows what will happen. So I know you're going there also to investigate on behalf of Bartok, so perhaps more information will avail itself.
Politicking being led by Reynold.
Who... The last attempt at diplomacy he had was carrying a butler into a bush and kidnapping him in broad daylight in front of other...
How come every time you attempt diplomacy, it ends in a war crime?
Because I panic, okay? I have 8 charisma. I'm not good at this.
That's true.
You get by.
We're carrying a warlock around with us, and we keep sending the 8 charisma guy in to do the diplomacy.
It's worked so far.
Why do you have a warlock with you? Oh, he's great at talking to people.
Yeah, as long as they can't see him.
Yeah, something about wearing the face of a devil is just a little bit of a social turnoff.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I have to start using disguise self to make myself look like Reynold.
Yeah, I fully have a doppelganger bodyguard that I just like a stunt double. I'm like, here you go.
Honestly, send him in for the diplomatic stuff.
Might work out.
I appreciate everybody joining us for the game. We're live Monday nights at 6 Pacific, and you can find us on Discord at The Heroes Era, on Twitter at The Heroes Era, on Instagram at _Heroes Era, and we're on YouTube at The Heroes Era also. That's where our past catalog of episodes are. Again, appreciate the raid, and until next time, the adventure continues.
Thank you
Bye,
for watching.
everybody.